Hi, I'm a real estate agent in North Jersey, and in today's video, we're going to go over 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Fort Lee is a fairly well-known borough in the New York City metropolitan area. In Fort Lee, you will find the George Washington Bridge, which connects New Jersey to Manhattan, New York City. So as you can imagine, it's a very popular town for commuters and people who enjoy life in New York but like to live in the suburbs. The first pro of living in Fort Lee is that you get stunning views of New York City. We have the entire skyline, the west-facing skyline, so we get to see the sun come up over that skyline in the morning, and then it sets in the west over the rest of the country. In Fort Lee, there's multiple parks where you can catch the skyline views, but the most notable and famous one will be the Ross Dock picnic area, where you can go under the George Washington Bridge and you get the New York City view framed by the George Washington Bridge. It's very incredible. As well, there's a lot of real estate like condos, apartments, and even single family houses that are perched on the top of the Palisades looking at that New York City skyline. Con number 1 about living in Fort Lee is that you do have to pay for this incredible location. Fort Lee has a very high cost of living, especially in regards to housing costs, where a single family home that's nice, new, and modern is going to run you over $1 million. Pro number 2 about living in Fort Lee, New Jersey is that you have incredible access to public transportation. There are multiple New Jersey Transit buses that will zip you into the city in the morning. And of course, you have the Jitney access and New Jersey Transit bus access that takes you over the George Washington Bridge. It's a very quick ride, dropping you off at the A train line of the New York City subway on the other side of the bridge. There's also the 159 New Jersey Transit bus, which zips you down through the Lincoln Tunnel. And in the mornings, there is a bus lane, so the New Jersey Transit buses get their own lane, and you do not have to fight commuter traffic to get into the city. Con number 2 in regards to living in Fort Lee is that there is insane traffic congestion around the George Washington Bridge, especially during rush hour. This congestion can bleed out into some of the side streets as well, making it tough to get from point A to point B in town. Luckily, there are some back roads that Google Maps seems to not know about, and that keeps the locals getting around town very easily. For the third pro, Fort Lee is home to one of the most insanely diverse cultures in the entire country. You can see it in the shops, restaurants, and community events hosted within the municipality. Residents come here from all over the world, 1, for its great access to New York City, 2, because it's a booming metropolis. It feels like a city with amazing amenities. And 3, because it's a very inclusive and accepting community. Everybody in Fort Lee wants their town to be the best town it can be. And for that, I give Fort Lee a lot of respect. Con number 3 is the small town feel. Now, Fort Lee is bigger than most of the surrounding towns, but it doesn't have the big malls and the big shopping centers. Everything's very local, everything is very private, and because of that, it doesn't have those big city feeling amenities. Of course, you do have New York City, where people like to go to get that type of thing, or they can go to Paramus, where there's plenty of shopping malls, and there's other places in New Jersey that you can get to within a 30-minute drive if you're living in Fort Lee. Pro number 4 about living in Fort Lee, New Jersey is that Fort Lee has great public school systems. There are 4 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school. The high school is beautifully located and it's got great infrastructure. Con number 4 about living in Fort Lee is that there's limited job opportunities. Now, there is a corporate park in Fort Lee, so there's plenty of jobs. There's also Englewood Cliffs, which is very nearby. So while Fort Lee itself might not be overflowing with jobs, it has more jobs than most local towns next to it. It's got Englewood Cliffs, and then of course, it's got New York City. So while there aren't a overwhelming amount of jobs in Fort Lee proper, the surrounding areas can keep all the residents in Fort Lee busy during the 9 to 5 hours. And even in Fort Lee itself, it does have some solid job opportunities. Pro number 5 is the safety and the community in Fort Lee. Fort Lee has a very safe community. You can see this by just driving down the streets. You will feel a almost NYPD-like level of police presence. So the cops are around, they're always on patrol. You feel safe, they're friendly to wave at, to residents walking down the streets. They're always friendly and respectful as well. And Fort Lee has this great community vibe. There's a community center where residents can get access to kids programs and even adults recreational and sports programs. There's a ton of events going on in town, and I love the community in Fort Lee. One of the coolest places in Bergen County. And then we have con number 5, the cold winters. The winter is coming again. Right now it's October, so we finally got rid of the last heat waves of the summer, and the nights and mornings are getting chillier. Soon we'll have snow, and that's one of the things that comes with living in Bergen County. In Fort Lee specifically, you're going to have that cold winter vibe. It's going to get snowy. It's going to get frosty. You're going to be bundled up, and it's not going to be very comfortable to walk around outside. So you do have that one season out of the year where it's not the most walkable or fun to be outside season if you're in Fort Lee. If that's something that affects you, you should probably not even be looking to move to New Jersey at all, but it is a reality of living in Fort Lee, New Jersey. That was 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Fort Lee. My name is Tyler. I am a Bergen County real estate agent. If you're looking to move to Fort Lee or another town around here, please feel free to check on my site, get in contact with me, and I'd love to help you get started on your home search. And if it's Fort Lee, I got houses for you.